Can you imagine your child all of a sudden just locking up and start shaking and seizing one time? Imagine that happening to you one time, and you can imagine how terrifying that would be. Now imagine that happening to you 40 to 50 times a day. That would be just traumatic, okay? Imagine that you're pumping this child full of medicines that's making her a zombie. You're making your child just a lethargic zombie in a vegetative state. And the doctors keep pumping more medicines and more medicines and more medicines, and this person that you called your child is no longer a person. They're just sitting in a chair, and they're just not responsive. They're barely eating. This is something that is going on, not somewhere across the world. No, this is something that's going on here in the valley, ladies and gentlemen. This could be your neighbor. This could be your cousin. This could be your sister. This could be you. And if you're going through that, how sad is it that instead of pumping your child full of something natural that grows from the ground and that can easily be seen to make a transformation within the first couple of days, instead of using that option, how sad is it that that option is illegal and you could face heavy prison time? And not only could you face heavy prison time, but you could have your child taken away from you for you choosing that route. In Texas, the state that is supposed to be the freest state in the union, the rebellious state, how is it that we're still stuck in this past period of time? So, I know this from doing research.
A bunch of stuff, and he's stood up to the federal government. That's funny because it's a guy in a wheelchair, and he's the one that stood up and had the cojones to say, no, you're not going to do this kind of stuff in Texas. You're not going to bring your Obamacare in Texas. All that stuff. He's been fighting the federal government, and I really think that takes so much guts. I really think it took a lot of guts to say no. Our soldiers are going to be armed on the military bases. That took massive guts to say that, because that's a huge rule that the federal government has been doing since 1992, right? So for the Texas governor to say, no, we're going to have guns on our bases, man, that's ballsy, rebellious. And then at the same time, when you're being that rebellious, rebelling against the federal governor, rebelling against Jade Helm, rebelling against all sorts of operations that are going on, how can you be how can you just take such a closed-minded stance on cannabis when you're so much about being rebellious and freedom? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How do they just turn a blind eye to, seeing all the tragedies, you can say?
And I really believe that if we were to legalize marijuana in Texas would become the most, we already are the biggest, baddest state in the country. I love Texas. But if we were to legalize weed, we would create jobs, we would create industry, we would create commerce, we would create medical, we would create scientists, scientific laboratories to study all sorts of jobs would be created just to study cannabis, and we're just here we're cutting our own legs off.
It would also allow us to keep the ongoing or continuing research on cannabis to see what helps, to see.
We sound so, and I feel bad because we sound so, I hate being the butt of jokes, and Texas is always like, oh, we're backwards over here, we're backwards good old boys and stuff like that. Man, if we really thought about this, man, if we really thought about the benefits that people have while, ingesting cannabis, this is medicine, guys. This is not just like, hey, man, we're gonna get high, bro. No, man, these are people that are, there's people that are using this for medicine. And for you to say, nah, well, those people can't have that. That's so sad, man. How can you justify that? How can you say that you're a good person and you're telling somebody, nah, you can't do that. You can't, it's illegal.
And even prohibit doctors from recommending it.
Yeah, if somebody, it's crazy because I talked to a doctor about that, and I talked to him about the seizure stuff, the oil, the cannabis oil, and I asked him, what do you think about that bill that got passed about them passing the
CBD oil.
being able to use the CBD oil for seizures? He's like, but the doctor says, I don't know what good it's going to do because if we recommend an illegal substance, we'll lose our license. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, so you can't even recommend it if you wanted to. He's like, yeah, that's correct. So what does it have to do? Like the patient has to go in there, directly ask the doctor about the benefits and all that stuff, and the doctor is just going to be like, well, a bunch of stuff. And he's stood up to the federal government. That's funny because it's a guy in a wheelchair, and he's the one that stood up and had the cojones to say, no, you're not going to do this kind of stuff in Texas. You're not going to bring your Obamacare in Texas. All that stuff. He's been fighting the federal government, and I really think that takes so much guts. I really think it took a lot of guts to say no. Our soldiers are going to be armed on the military bases. That took massive guts to say that because that's a huge rule that the federal government has been doing since 1992, right? So for the Texas governor to say no, we're going to have guns on our bases, man, that's ballsy, rebellious. And then at the same time, when you're being that rebellious, rebelling against the federal government, rebelling against Jade Helm, rebelling against all sorts of operations that are going on, how can you be how can you just take such a closed-minded stance on cannabis when you're so much about being rebellious and freedom? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How do they just turn a blind eye to, seeing all the tragedies, you can say?
And I really believe that if we were to legalize marijuana in Texas would become the most, we already are the biggest, baddest state in the country. I love Texas. But if we were to legalize weed, we would create jobs, we would create industry, we would create commerce, we would create medical, we would create scientific laboratories to study all sorts of jobs would be created just to study cannabis, and we're just here we're cutting our own legs off.
It would also allow us to keep the ongoing or continuing research on cannabis to see what helps, to see.
We sound so, and I feel bad because we sound so, I hate being the butt of jokes, and Texas is always like, oh, we're backwards over here, we're backwards good old boys and stuff like that. Man, if we really thought about this, man, if we really thought about the benefits that people have while, ingesting cannabis, this is medicine, guys. This is not just like, hey, man, we're gonna get high, bro. No, man, these are people that are, there's people that are using this for medicine. And for you to say, nah, well, those people can't have that. That's so sad, man. How can you justify that? How can you say that you're a good person and you're telling somebody, nah, you can't do that. You can't, it's illegal.
And even prohibit doctors from recommending it.
Yeah, if somebody, it's crazy because I talked to a doctor about that, and I talked to him about the seizure stuff, the oil, the cannabis oil, and I asked him, what do you think about that bill that got passed about them passing the
CBD oil,
being able to use the CBD oil for seizures? He's like, but the doctor says, I don't know what good it's going to do because if we recommend an illegal substance, we'll lose our license. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, so you can't even recommend it if you wanted to. He's like, yeah, that's correct. I'm like, so what does it have to do? Like the patient has to go in there, directly ask the doctor about the benefits and all that stuff, and the doctor is just going to be like, well, yes, there's that. He's not going to recommend it or nothing. He's just, but it's absolutely madness, guys. We'll be right back. I gotta pay some bills, man, but I want to do some, I want to talk about some testimonies, man. I'm just gonna share of Operation Iraqi Freedom and of Operation Tobias. He's a combat veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom, and he's also a member of Rgv Norml. That's an organization that is fighting for the reform of marijuana laws. Hey, I got it, finally. And we're here, we've been discussing the benefits of cannabinoid oil and the benefits of cannabis for people fighting all sorts of illnesses, fighting all sorts of battles, and he was talking to me off the air about something that I just really wanted to talk to you guys about. There's a veteran here in the Valley. I won't say exactly where just so I don't narrow it down, but I know that there's a veteran here in the Valley, and he was telling me the story. Javier, go ahead and tell me what this veteran has to do on a daily basis to deal with his issues.
So he's being prescribed.
Get real close to the mic.
He's being prescribed by the VA a number of medications. But one of them is, he's having to take morphine daily.
Morphine?
That's the level of his pain, just, daily, excruciating.
Wow.
Really debilitating.
That's heavy
debilitating. And he knows cannabis is a cure. Cannabis can, treat him. It eases his pain a bit, but it's one thing that's the choice we have to make. As advocates, as cannabis activists, this is our freedom, and I should be able to treat myself. So it's our own choice, but, to see veterans, to see other patients like this, in conditions like this, it's you wish you could do more for them.
And then morphine's not, it's not an ibuprofen. That's
no,
for sure.
Yeah.
No. Morphine is heavy duty, man. It'll take your pain away, but the damage that it's doing to your liver and your kidneys is big time. This is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys don't know how medicine works, you take like an ibuprofen or whatever. What it does is the medicine starts, it makes your kidneys and your liver excrete like a pain-relieving chemical. And your kidneys start working overtime trying to pump this chemical out so your body can feel pain-free. It's sort of like the adrenaline, when you get like an adrenaline rush, and like if you were to get like your arm broken or something, like you wouldn't feel it until afterwards. The same thing is happening on a smaller scale when you take medicine. But if you take medicine all the time, and you're taking medicine all the time, I mean, there's people that take medicines like Tic Tacs, and they need Tic Tacs, and they don't take Tic Tacs, but they take medicine, and it's just like the damage that they're doing to their body, because once your kidneys start pumping out that chemical, your body's like, oh, I'm pain-free, so you need more and more of it, and like these people are working their kidneys to the point of failure, and that's when you have renal failure. That's when you have to go to dialysis. You see, man, how many veterans are in a dialysis clinic, bro? It's a lot of veterans, man. A lot of veterans in the dialysis clinic. I know at least 6 personally. That's me that I know of those 6 people down here in the Valley and 1 in San Antonio. And these are people that have been pushed, that they've been pushed the medication, and they were taking all their medicines. Man, these veterans take like 20 pills a day of all sorts of things, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all sorts of stuff. And if you could substitute all the little bag of pills that they carry with a little bottle of oil or whatever it may be, that would really help them out. Not only help them out like physically, but help them out financially. Because all those medicines are coming out. And how does it work for the VA? Do they give you the medicines, or do you still have to pay for them?
I used to get prescribed, and I didn't have to pay for anything.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I
can't say for everybody. But
but that's not the case for everybody.
I can't.
Okay.
Can't say. I stay away from the VA myself.
Oh, really? That's very interesting, bro. Because that's I want to talk. Why do you stay away from the VA?
Well, there's one thing, and we were kind of talking about it before, doctors not being able to recommend and all that. So with the VA, the process there, if anybody does mention, they use alternate forms of healing.
Yeah.
Other than what the VA helps you with.
Okay. Yeah.
Helps you with. And it depends, I guess, with the situation, but you can possibly lose your benefits. And that's
serious?
one thing that veterans worry about.
Are you serious, bro?
Worry about.
So if you went over there and told your doctor, Say for example, you
or
went
your
to-
medication, you know.
Yeah, if you told your doctors, hey, you know, I kind of stopped taking the medicines you gave me because I did some research and I started, you know, looking into the benefits of cannabis and I started doing cannabis oil to treat myself. You could lose your benefits.
Not completely, I wouldn't say. And it
What about getting arrested? Could you get arrested?
We all know, yes.
You
Of
could get,
course,
like,
yes.
if you told the doctor.
Well, at the VA, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, because the VA isn't a private doctor that has to keep your confidentiality. This is the government-run entity, right? So if you go there and you tell them, hey, I'm using cannabis oil, they have, like, I don't know how the...
In some cases that I've heard other veterans that do go often, no, they, you know...
They don't even mention it.
They didn't get arrested, it stops there, and you know, there's changes in what they get prescribed.
Wow.
There is changes.
These are people that went and fought overseas and are being told that they can't do something. This is sad, man. This is sad. You're telling a grown man, a soldier, that it's okay for him to go overseas and fight and do all these crazy things and get bombed daily, and you're telling him that he can't have a plan. That's sad, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining me on Epic Radio. Javier, thank you so much for coming by the studio and informing me about what Norml has to offer. If you have any information, if you have any questions about Norml, what's the website that they can search?
They can look for us at rgvnorml.com.
rgvnorml?
Yes.
.com.
rgvnorml.com, and they can also go to our Facebook page, Rgv Norml.
And I want you guys to go to their page, man, because they have a lot of pictures and stories about what cannabis can do to help people. So check out rgvnorml.com or check out their Facebook page, Rgv Norml. Thank you so much, Javier, for joining us, man. And I really appreciate all the time that you've given us today, and I appreciate your service too as well to the country, man. Thank you so much. We'll be right back. I have an in-studio guest, and we're going to talk about him. He's going to be celebrating a birthday on Friday.